Today's 785th day I'm here to listen, so learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today I'll speak about we're not supposed to make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. We're not supposed to make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. I have fallen that as well. Like, I'm not any different. The majority of people, when they make decisions, is based on their current emotions. And a lot of times it leads to disappointments, that leads to regrets, and that leads to wrong choices and decisions. So today we'll share 10 things that we're able to really work on, that we do not make decisions based on feelings, emotions. Because a lot of times those emotions will go up and down. And we need to work towards becoming less emotional and becoming more rational. But at the same time, we will never be able to really reduce those emotions to zero, because we'll be always ups and downs. I never met a business owner, I never met a person who never had ups and downs. And those ups and downs will lead in some kind of emotions. I never met a successful person who never experienced that. I never saw it. Of course, it might be that someone is less emotional, and of course that allows them to achieve great things, but every single person is able to understand their emotions and still not act on emotions, but on the things that really is important for them. So today we'll share 10 things that you're able to work towards as well. So number one is emotional awareness. Emotional awareness. I can tell you right away that I was always very, very mentally strong. One of the strongest person I could know, but because I'm able to really handle a lot of mentally. But mental strength is not as emotional strength, because I was lacking emotional awareness. I was lacking understanding what emotions I'm experiencing in. But I was mentally, I was going through those emotions, but it was not helpful. A lot of times the most important part is being aware of those emotions, because if you're not aware, you're not able to solve it. Because mental will not able to help in the long run. So emotional awareness is very, very important, because when you know what you're feeling and why you're feeling, then you're able to work and really being able to understand what you're able to do to solve and overcome and help you get out in different kind of emotional state. Because it's very important, and it's very, very important to understand that you are able to dictate what kind of emotional state you are in. So that means if you do not like your emotional state, you're able to change that. You're able to improve it. You're able to do the things necessary to really influence your emotional state. And I didn't know that. I didn't know for the majority of my life that I'm able to influence my emotional state. And my emotional state influences my results. That's very, very important. So that means that when we really making decisions, we need to understand what emotional state what we are in. Because we're not able to make decisions based on emotional state, which like when we have a negative emotional state, we're not supposed to make decisions on that state. So that means we need to be uplifted emotional state to be able to make decisions. Number two is time and reflection. Time and reflection. So it means when you are in a negative emotional state, sometimes the first thing that you're able to do is really give yourself time. Give yourself time to reflect. Because, of course, when we are in a negative emotional state or anything in between, and we have the feelings that we do not want to feel, we want to feel better. Because making a decision to quit a lot of times gives a lot of relief. Oh, finally something resolved. Finally I'm able to quit. Finally I'm able to do something different. But that release will not be helpful. It will be temporary relief, but a long-term disappointment. Potential long-term disappointment. Of course, not every single time, but it might be that when you are in a low and you make a decision, it might be that you will feel much better about yourself for a day, 2, maybe in a week. But after that, you will regret, because you will need to build a new momentum, because now you have a different emotional state. You understood that this was the wrong decision to quit, and now you need to build momentum back again. And of course, that will be a little bit disappointing. Number 3 is seeking perspective. This is probably one of the most important as well. That means that when you are on a low, when you want to make a decision on that temporary feeling, is a lot of times the best thing to do is really seeking advice, seeking perspective. Because when you're in a low, most of the time you have blinds and you're able to see just a very, very, very narrow thing. and you're not able to understand how this low emotions is putting you in such a narrow view that you're not able to really start looking around and see there's so many opportunities to do different things, the same thing but just different path, or anything that you're able to pivot. So when you're able to speak with a person who has the view, the mountain view, and really ask for perspective advice, he's able to really open those blinds that you had all the time, and really allow you to say, oh, I didn't thought that way. Oh, I didn't expect it. Oh yeah, like this is true. So perspective, probably one of the most important parts of anything in life. So next one, number 4, is consider consequences. Consider consequences. And this is part of really getting perspective. My mom was amazing in really helping me to go through considering my consequences. When I used to really try to make a decision, she used to say, like, if you will do this, it might be that it will lead to this one. Of course, if you will do this, this might lead to this one. And if you will do this one, this might lead to this one. So which one do you want? Which one result do you want? Which one consequence do you want? Because sometimes when you are in that disappointment, in that low environment, sometimes you're not able to see the consequences. You're not able to see love. You're able to see what's today, what's now, but you're not able to put yourself in the shoes and put yourself in 1 year, in 2 years, 5 years. So when you have that person who is able to really help you to consider consequences of your actions, of your decisions, you start seeing, okay, if I will take this action, I will, in 5 years, I will end up there. If I will do this one, I will end up here. So which one consequence and result do you look for? So that will really allow us to really make sure that you do not make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. Number 5 is implementing delays. Implementing delays. Because I love this one, and I use it quite often in multiple things, in emotions, and sometimes someone could potentially make you disappointed, angry as well. I use the 72 hours rule, that 72 hours you do not say anything, because you're able to reflect and collect yourself and really understand what's going on. Exactly the same thing with the things that you pursue in life. But it means that when you have a goal, you're pursuing that goal, and then you failed, you made mistake, and then you really want to make a decision that I'm quitting, that's it, that I'm done. But at that moment, you're able to say, okay, I'm giving myself 72 hours or 24 hours. It depends on difficulty. So it might be it's only 24 hours. You just need to have some hours to reflect and really walk away for a couple, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 4 hours. It depends on of difficulty. And when you're really able to come back after collecting yourself, you're able to say, it's not that bad as I thought. It's not that bad. And it's just part of the journey. Everyone is going through this journey. So, okay, I'm able to really get back to work, get back to grind, get back to the execution, get back to growth, and making things happen. Number 6 is decision-making frameworks. Decision-making frameworks. This is a very beautiful thing as well. So it means when you have emotion, when you have a feeling that you want to quit, you want to really start doing something else. So that means that you don't quit on them because you have that emotion. What you do with that decision, you put in a framework. So you have a decision-making process, and you put that decision into some kind of process, in some kind of framework, in some kind of questions that you need to ask yourself to make sure this is a good decision. So amazing. Advantage, disadvantages, like all the things that you're able to put to make sure that you qualify that decision. It means you don't make a decision based on emotion, but you're really making sure that you rationalize that decision, and you really go through logical sequence of questions that you could make sure that this decision is right. And a lot of times when you will go for sequence of questions, logical questions, you realize that, yeah, this is just really, it was emotional decision, just low state decision, feeling decision, and I do not want to allow my emotions to dictate my decisions. I want to make sure that my long-term vision dictates my decisions. And when you go for that, it really allows you to make sure that you do that. Number 7 is mindfulness practice. Mindfulness practice. That means being able to be fully present. Fully present. And I think that is one of the biggest things, is really sometimes people need to have mindfulness challenge or being present challenge. And really when you go through day, trying to catch yourself, are you present? Are you 100% where you're at? Because when you are 100% where you're at, I found it, it's almost almost impossible to be anxious, have low state, or anything between, because low state, negative feelings, comes from the past and from the future. So you're not able to be fully present and have negative emotions. So when you have negative emotions, you're able to say, so where I am, like ask question, where are you at? Are you in the future? Are you in the past? Are you in the mistake? Are in the past that you did? Are you anxious about the future that's coming? So when you realize like where those emotions are coming from, and you realize that you're not able to be nervous, anxious, and all other bad emotions when you're present, that means you're working to be present, understand that this is where I am. No one is attacking me. I'm able to be fully present. And when you're able to really focus on being fully present and you bring your emotions back, then of course all the emotions comes out. Now you're able to really look into the station more clearly, and then of course say that, is this really what you really want to do? Is this really what you want to quit on? Is this really what you really want to do? Because sometimes you just really need to get back on being present to make sure that you're able to make a right choice for yourself. Number 8 is setting priorities. Setting priorities. When I say about setting priorities, I want you to focus on a bigger things, a major things. Of course, it could work on some minor things as well, but like let's look at like a little bit long-term things, like big vision for yourself. What is that really meaningful for you? What makes you tick? What is your why? Because they're saying when there's a why, there's a way. Exactly the same is with really making sure that you don't make emotional decisions. You don't make permanent decisions on the temporary emotions. Because when you know what is the most important thing in life, the vision that you are going after, when you're going after that vision, when you have those temporary feelings that is not good, that you feel disappointed, you want to cry, you want to really shout and from disappointment or discouragement, from shame and guilt and blame and all in between, on all those emotions, you just want those emotions go away. Sometimes you need to go back and really understand. So why am I doing this? Why I'm going this? And ask, is this price I'm willing to pay? Is this price I'm willing to pay? If I'm going through stuff, I'm going through something, so that means you accept that. And when you accept that you are going through stuff, ask yourself, is this the price that you're willing to pay? And when you see the vision that you have for yourself, you realize, yeah, like this is so meaningful for me. There's nothing in life could stop me from achieving that. And when you realize that there is nothing could stop you from achieving that. If you have just temporary emotion, temporary feeling that you do not like, and this could be hurting you a lot. But the vision that you have set for yourself is so much more important than any price that you're paying now. So powerful. Number 9 is journaling. This is quite simple, but again, like when you're making a decision, just really being able to journal. What kind of emotions do you feel, and why do you feel them, and what makes them to feel, and then of course writing down what you would love to feel and what you're able to do to be able to feel that. And you'll journal your emotions allows you to release those emotions, understand yourself, get more clarity. Because a lot of times people have anxious feelings and bad emotions because they have uncertainty and they have no clarity whatsoever. And when you're not clear about what actions you're able to take, a lot of times that leads to disappointments, leads to really inaction, and that inaction leads to more bad emotions. And people want to quit. So being able to journal and write down all the thoughts, because I found myself a lot of times that when I think, I have so many hundreds of things to think about, I write on my paper and there's like 4 or 5 things only. I realized that sometimes I exaggerate in my mind because I jump back and forth, and it seems like 100 things. But when you write down on the paper, start to see there's only like 4 or 5 things. I'm able to handle it. I will allocate on this one 1 hour, allocate on this one 2 hours, and allocate on this 3 hours, and you're done with all the clarity. You build all the things that you really thought is very difficult, and it becomes much more easy than expected. So journaling is a very powerful tool to really get out of the emotions that might be that you don't want to feel. And last one, number 10, is part of journaling, because we need to understanding the triggers. So that is the last one. Number 10 is understanding your triggers. So what makes you feel that you want to quit? What makes you feel those negative emotions? And when do you feel those? So maybe you're able to really start working and really make sure that you do not have those triggers in your life. What makes you really triggered and you say, oh, I want to quit. I want to really leave this business. I want to quit my career. I want to quit my passion. I want to quit my obsession, or whatever it is. What triggers you to really want to quit that? What triggers you to really make those permanent decisions on those temporary feelings? And when you know, and that's as part of the journaling, because when you're able to really start writing, and when you start feeling those feelings, and what happened during the day, and what caused you to start feeling those emotions, and then look at you, maybe there's a patterns, of things that you do that really makes your emotions go slower and lower and lower, and you reach that certain point when you really start to want to quit. Because most time it doesn't happen like, well, like I'm super negative. No, like it's certain things that leads to that. So what led you to really to feel so disappointed you really potentially want to quit and make the permanent decision? And when you really understand your triggers, you're able to really build systems and processes in place. So that means when that something happens, this is what we'll do. So you build strategy. So it doesn't matter how you feel, you know exactly what to do because it's written on your strategy. This is written on your goal. And you know exactly what you will do when you will feel a certain way. It's so powerful because when you feel low, you do not have capacity to think. I don't have a capacity to think. I just go on the flow, on the habits and routines that I already built. So if I never build the systems and processes and routines in place, that means in a bad day, I will fall on the worst part of me. So that means knowing that you're able to build routines and systems and processes in place when you feel good. So that means when you feel bad, you will be able to fall on those routines. It's very, very powerful because a lot of times when you feel good, we always feel that we will always feel this way. And we do not prepare for the bad day. But we need to understand that, including myself, that we will always will have ups and downs. And we need to, when we up, we need to prepare for the downs. So that's exactly the same. Like, the best time to fix your roof is during sunny days, because only during the rainy days will show up that in the roof there is a hole, and it will be like all house will be full of rain and soaked. So that means exactly the same with our own internal roof. During sunny days, we need to protect our inside and protect and build a roof that no rain could come in during the rainy days. And that's why we need to build those systems and processes, systems in place that when something is important coming in, we are not quitting and we do not make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. So I hope that today's lesson really helps you really to reflect on how often do you have those quit decision making feelings that you want to quit, and what do you do? Maybe there's something else that you do and it could potentially help me because I have those emotions as well. I'm doing those constantly by myself as well because life always goes up and down, up and down. I always, of course, working to reducing that. That could be the smaller and smaller and smaller, but at the same time, this is part of being a human. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.